Hello everyone, and in this video we are going to discuss about Laravel models. So in Laravel we communicate with our database and its tables through Laravel model. So if we come to the Laravel app folder, there is a folder called models and all of our models will be stored here in this folder. So if I open this, there is a file user.php. So this model is provided by default by Laravel. If I open it, there are different things mentioned here in this model, but for now we will close it and we will learn these things later on. So we will use thinker to communicate with our database through this model. So PHP artisan thinker and $user. So we will first make an object of this class, so new, and the file is an af models. So we will provide the path. So af models and user. So we have created an object of this model. Now let's say $user and all. So this is an equivalent to select all from the user table. But we are using model, so this is the eloquent syntax. We will learn this later on. So if we enter, you can see all. So that means we have no record here in this table. If I click this, there is no data. So now let's create some data first. So $user table fields are name, email, and all of these fields. So here in this, which we have described in the migration. So here we will provide the name. The name is equal to, let's say, John. Then $user email is equal to John at gm.com. This is a fake email. I made a syntax error. And now $user password. And here we will write password. So we don't want to store this password as a string. So we will encrypt it and we will use the Laravel method bcrypt to encrypt this password. So it is encrypted now. And the rest of the fields ID will be created automatically. This one is nullable and these will be created automatically. So now let's save it. $user save. And now it's saved. Now if I write $user all, now we have this one record that we have just created. Now if I go to the PHP my admin, now I refresh it, the record is there. Something. So $user find one. So you want to find a user with the ID 1. So this is the record. Now let's say we want to find the one with 2. So now it is null because there is no such user with ID 2. So if you want an exception, not found exception error, Then we will say $user find or fail into. So it will look for the result. If find successful, then it will return the result. Otherwise, it will return the not found exception. So let's enter it, and you see not found exception, no query results. So depends on your requirement. Either you want in null response or not found exception response. Now let's say I want to update the user number 1. So update. So first we will find it and then we will update it. And here we will provide an array. So the name, we want to change the name, and let's say the name is Bob. Now enter, and it has been updated successfully. So let's check it. So $user and all, and now you can see the name has been updated from John to Bob. And if we check it in the database, so it is John now. Let's check it. Now it's updated to Bob. And similar way we can delete the user. So $user delete. So this way we can delete it, but I will not delete it. So let's get out of Thinker and create our own model. Let me close this. The PHP artisan make model. And now it will ask us what should be the name of the model. So let's say we post, and this is the Laravel convention that the name of the model should be singular and the table name should be plural, and this the first character should be capital. So this is Laravel convention. So post. Now it is asking us that you want to create any of these things. So let's say you want to create a factory, migration, resource controller, or anything like that. Let's say if you want to create migration, so the migration number is 4. If you want to create a resource controller, then its number is 6. And if you want to create both, you will write here 4 and 6. Otherwise 4 or 6. But in this case, we don't want to create anything else except the first model. So we will write 0. And now the model has been created successfully, and we have this model. So we have a class post that extends a model. So now let's communicate through this with the post table. So $post is equal to new, and same thing if models and post. Sorry, I missed the parenthesis. Post happened. Okay, we are not in Thinker. So first open Thinker. So PHP artisan Thinker. Now write that. So $post is equal to new if models and post. So now post. So what fields do we have in the post table? So here you can see title, select and body, but we have added the user ID as well. So let's quickly create it. Title equal to my first post and dollar post slug is equal to, there is a string method, but we will manually create it and we will use that method later on. So my post dollar post body. So body is my first post description or body, whatever you like, and the user ID. So dollar post user underscore ID, and that ID is 1. Now let's save it. So dollar user dollar post save, and now we have saved this post. So let's see it. So dollar post all. So now you can see all of the post in that table. And let's see it in the table. So post, the record has been created. Now let's get out of this thinker. And there is another way to create a model. So PHP artisan and make model. So let's say this time we need to give the name here. So let's say category. So this is singular, and this time we say we provide we need the resource controller and we need the migration as well. So RCM. So RC for resource controller and M for migration. And enter. So model created, migration created, and controller created. And here you can see the name of the model is category singular, but the table name is plural, so categories. Now if I open it, the name of the categories is plural. So this is the Laravel convention. Model should be singular and the migration should be plural. So now let's say if I want to change this and I want this to be category, then what? What will do? So let me delete this. And now let's say create a migration again. So PHP artisan create migration. And the name of the migration will be create category table. So either you can create a migration like this, and if you don't like this, then what you can do is you can write it create category table and the double quotes and create category table by having these spaces and press enter. It's the same thing. Okay, here we have an error. So make migration, not create. So category table has been created. Yeah, and now let's give it so dollar table name category, and if you need this slug, so you will write slug as well. So dollar table string. Okay, so here we will write table dollar table string and name, the name of the category, and we can create a slug as well. So slug. Now let's migrate. So PHP artisan migrate, and now use this. So this will not work. So let's say PHP artisan thinker. So dollar category equal to new AF models and category. So now let's communicate. So dollar category and all. So this will give us an error because base table are view not found, because it is looking for the table with the name categories, and we don't have such table. We only have a category table, not the categories. So now if you want to change it, how can you do that? So let's say here we can write the category model protected dollar table equal to category. Now let's check it. So get out of thinker and again PHP artisan thinker dollar category equal to new category dollar category. And now the error is gone and we got an empty array. So let's, so due to this, now we can change the name of the table. So if you want to use a different name with the table, then you can use this variable dollar table and provide the name of the table. And now you can communicate with the table. So now let's go further. So now let's open this controller. So post controller, and here let's say we want to find some post and then return that post. Then what can we do? Or we want to return the list of posts. Then what can we do? So let's say dollar post to post and post all. And here we can return dollar post. And now if I open what the server, then we can see this post by default, because through our routes we come here to this method. So let's say we want to see this one, so post, so we will see the same result, posts. Now here, let me close this. And if I want to show a single post, what can I do? Return. So here we can provide the dollar post. So post, or so let me first find it. So post, so dollar post is equal to new, equal to post, find with the ID, and then return that post. Post. So we are getting this ID, and we will find a post with this ID, and then we will return. So here we will provide the ID of the post. So number one. So this is the post. Now if we pass here number two, there is no post, but we don't see anything here because we are returning null. So here we will write find or here. So now let's see. Now it is giving us a proper error message for not found. But if we write here one, then the post is there. So in this way we can use our model, so we don't have to write query to select all from the post table where ID is equal to this thing. So instead we write here eloquent syntax and we can get it. So there are a lot of other things about models. So we will discuss those things in some other video. That's all for this video now, and see you in the next video. Thanks.